You're gonna need 2 hands and the tight grip for this. Whew. Take a breath. I didn't promise easy here, did I? I didn't promise easy. Welcome to my channel, people. I'm Brandy, and today I'm participating in Heidi Sonbouls DIY Valentines Challenge. Some of you have asked for me to join one of Heidi's challenges. You love Heidi, I do too. She is so creative and kind to the YouTube community. So here I am creating some Valentines DIY ideas for you. And don't forget to check out that playlist before you go. Let's jump into it. To create this piece, you'll need a palette from Dollar Tree, some floral wire, and some of these decorative styrofoam glitter balls. Next, I am using some Waverly white chalk paint. I'm sorry, my dog is going off in the background. Harley is having a ball this morning. I pour this, usually I have a bigger tin, and sorry about the dog hair. I usually have a bigger tin and put these in. I know you guys are probably like, what is this, Brandy? But it really is an easy way to paint this. It takes like 2 minutes to just mix the paint with some water and pour it over there, and then use some gloves and just smoosh it all in those little corners, and it's beautiful. Working with floral wire is amazing. I love how flexible this stuff is. I went with a black color to throw some versatility in this little craft and cut 6 pieces to different lengths and use different little techniques to either spiral it up. It would not come off this pencil. Be mindful how tight you're wrapping it, because the struggle with getting this off sometimes. But it's really super movable, and it's just movable. Is that even, it's my word right now. Anyhow. And then I stuck these styrofoam balls on there. You can hot glue them in place if you want to, but if I want to be able to switch it out and maybe use this another time for another DIY, since the little palette is white, it's versatile. And then I take these little styrofoam pieces and just cut them to size and put them in the bottom. This way you have a little base, I guess, to plop these little floral wire pieces into, and it will hold. Sometimes filming doesn't always work out as perfect as I want it. I felt this need a little extra something, so threw those styrofoam hearts in there from Dollar Tree and added this ribbon and sticker. I purchased these little 1-inch nails from Home Depot, and this, I'm using another Dollar Tree palette, and the white twine is from Walmart. Here I am again with my staining technique. I know you guys are probably like, what is she doing? But the reality of it is, I like to spray paint palettes, and then if I can't spray paint the palettes, I like to use paint and water. It just gets in these little cracks. I feel like it's beautiful. I love this end result. And painting and getting in those little spots can be very tedious. So I just really like this technique. Next, I took this little heart I got from Christmas tree shops. I am local to one. If you do not have one, I'm sorry. But I use this as my template to draw a heart around this piece. And then for a base to hold this in place, I completely recommend this. I used some painter's tape and put over 2 pieces of cardboard on the sides before I started my hammering. You don't want this little palette or anything you're really hammering going flying anywhere, and this is such a smart little thing just to hold it down for you. And then I just hammered them in to place on the template. For real. And then that, make sure you're hammering your nails and far enough that they don't come flying back out your project. This is so beautiful. I even just like the nails. If you do not know how to crochet, I don't know how else to explain this piece, but I call these loose crochet knots, and I'm sure they have another name. Right in the comments below what you call this. But this loose knot is movable. The way you do it, it allows some play in the hole, and for me to tighten it around that, not around the nail, once I get it on there. And you can use smaller twine if you want. This is really thick twine. I mean, maybe not really thick twine, but it's normal size twine, and it's probably big for this project. But I really like how this turned out with the thicker twine and the white versus the brown. And then I just really had no method to this madness and wobbled it all over the place. Next, I took the little end rope, weeded it through or fed it through one of the pallet holes, made sure to wrap it around the nails tightly so that way it didn't look out of place, and hot glued it to the back. People, you can really use whatever wooden base you want. I'm using this piece from Dollar Tree. These hearts are from Dollar Tree, and these hearts are from Christmas tree shops. The gauge wire I ordered from Amazon. And next, I'm just covering up the sparkly stuff with some Gorilla Glue and paper. I do not feel like messing with it. On my Try It Tuesday this past week, I tried out a bunch of different crafting glues. This Gorilla Glue, I took a hammer to these glues. It was so much fun, and it was educational too. Anyhow, back to this craft. So I painted the other side pink and let that dry, and while it was drying, I took this wire and shaped it in a circle. Then I took the twine and started wrapping it. It was very tedious doing it like this. I recommend, if you're going to wrap wire ever, do not do what I'm doing and see how I'm flipping this. Leave it straight so you can wrap it like this. And so it's so much easier to wrap like this. And when I was finished, I kind of just added some hot glue and let that dry. You can use whatever circular surface you want. I am going to be using this later and had it like right next to me. So I was like, we're going to do this. We're going to use this. And it worked out perfect. Look at it. It's beautiful. I like how round it is. When I was finished, I hot glued both of them and took a smaller strand of twine and wrapped them together. And then I held it in place for a couple minutes. Well, not a couple minutes. I think I'm exaggerating there. Probably like a minute while it dried. This, I felt like it needed a little extra something, so I took a thinner gauge wire that we used in the first craft and twined it up. And then I decided we're going to make this like an extra little piece kind of pop off, and gently just pressed it on circular surfaces to bend it so it didn't have like a very abrupt kink in it. Abrupt kink. Yep, abrupt kink. Next, I had this diamond wrap laying around. I cut 3 rows. It fits perfectly on the edge of this little wood pumpkin, and using this Gorilla Glue, I'm telling you guys that it was impressive. Anyhow, at the end of the day, I did use a little bit of hot glue right here at this part, but had already pressed the stop button on film, so I didn't see that. But I wanted to let you guys know, just to hold that last end piece. This, you're going to want to hold it for sure while it is drying, and then add your little embellishments. Next level. I purchased all of this stuff from Dollar Tree, and if they're making anything high quality, it is these wreath shaped metal pieces. Everything started going wrong for me filming this part. Lighting is fine. It's all falling in. It's caving in. It's caving in. Oh. You're gonna need 2 hands and the tight grip for this. Whew. Oh. Take a breath. Whew. It's coming along, people. Listen, I didn't promise easy here, did I? I didn't promise easy. Ta-da! Just when I thought things were about to get better for me here. After I was done feeling the burn there, I continued wrapping the twine around the heart. This was a little tedious, but I was able to get it done in about 15 minutes. And then I took this little popsicle stick, which I do a lot when I'm doing florals, and use them as a base to attach everything. I'm very funny about the florals when I'm doing them. I feel like they fall apart real easy, and I'm sure there's a million different techniques, but this works best for me. And I'll then use the popsicle stick as the main part that I attach to whatever it is that I'm creating. To finish this off, I just added some twine to hang on the wall. I purchased most of the supplies for this from Dollar Tree except for the wire and this styrofoam. It's pretty big sphere there. It's pretty big. I really thought that this would be such a cute idea as a centerpiece for a table, and I've actually seen, like, I want to say topiary, I think that's the word I'm looking for, pieces like this, and thought, let's do it with some roses. And I think it'll look amazing adding some purple in there later. But Valentine's, we're doing pink and some red. I took about 2 feet of this wire and then used the Mod Podge as like a guide to kind of wrap this around to create like a little bit of just some decoration in the wire. You could wrap this up with ribbon or whatever you want to do. I really like the look of the silver by itself. And you can also glue this in here if you wanted a more permanent situation. I did not want to do that. I wanted the flexibility to switch it out if I want it, so I just left it in there. It does get a little bit top heavy once you start putting these roses on here, and this is a little painstaking with having to hold each one in place for like 25 to 30 seconds while they dry. For the bottom, I took the rest of the little glitter lace that we put on the other DIY and wrapped it around the bottom of this glass jar and then filled it with these little petals. People, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you guys enjoyed these DIYs. I cannot pick out a favorite. Let me know in the comments below if you guys have a favorite. I really like all of them for different reasons. Heidi, I appreciate you so much for hosting this, and don't forget, if you guys get a chance, check out the playlist with the other amazing creators. And don't forget, if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. It really helps support my channel, and subscribe if you want to see more videos with me. Each like, each comment, and each subscriber tells YouTube to suggest my content. Until next time.